hit our car.
Just get us out of here.
Mom, are we lost?
We're not lost.
What's the matter with you?
The movie begins with a warm conversation between a young boy named Sean Donovan and his mother, Mary Donovan. However, the peaceful moment is suddenly shattered when a carjacking takes place right in front of Sean and his father, leading to Mary's tragic death. The tragic event left a deep scar on Sean's soul, turning him into a quiet and serious person throughout his teenage years. 10 years later, the memory of his mother's violent death still haunts him, making Sean sensitive to any form of violence, even the smallest acts. Witnessing bullying at school triggers intense reactions in Sean as he struggles to cope with his anxiety and agitation. To hide his troubles from his father, he secretly takes medication kept in a bandage box. Despite his inner struggles, Sean continues to excel academically and shows a strong interest in subjects like chemistry, even though they are not part of his main school curriculum. However, whenever Sean's father, Terry Donovan, tries to talk to him about his grades, their conversations often lack depth and connection. Since Sean's mother passed away, the relationship between father and son has grown distant, making them feel more like strangers than family. Although Terry has tried hard to help Sean return to a normal life, his efforts have not been completely successful. One day, Terry visits his wife's grave and apologizes for not coming more often. He shares that Sean has made a new friend and plans to attend a party with him. Seeing his son slowly reconnect with life brings Terry a sense of relief. Meanwhile, on the train, Sean suddenly experiences a vivid flashback from his childhood. Sean recalls how his mother, Mary, used to help him through difficult times. Whenever his alcoholic father abused him, Mary would take him to music classes so he could escape their troubled home life. Returning to the present, as Sean walks through a park, he witnesses a drug-addicted woman begging a dealer to give her more time to pay for the drugs she took. After the woman left, Sean unintentionally drew the attention of two drug dealers, Tony and Stretch, because he was standing too close. When the criminals started threatening him, Sean suddenly accused Tony of murdering a child. The accusation sent Tony into a rage, and he violently attacked Sean. In that moment, Sean revealed a side of himself no one had ever seen before he fought back, not only to protect himself, but also to honor the memory of the lost child. After a tense struggle, Sean managed to seize Tony's gun and ultimately shot him. The scene shifts to Teresa Ames, a police officer struggling with personal issues, including constant calls from her ex-husband about their son. Despite these challenges, Teresa is assigned to handle an important case involving Larry Childs, a drug dealer accused of killing two people. Although she works diligently, the trial is unexpectedly postponed, giving Larry's lawyer more time to secure his release. Thanks to her outstanding performance in the Crime and Narcotics Unit, Teresa is promoted to the Homicide Division, where she teams up with her colleague Gary to take on new challenges. Coincidentally, Officer Bill Baldwin, someone Sean has known for a long time, also works in the same unit. Occasionally, Sean visits Bill at night to use the computer. As Teresa prepares to leave the police station, she notices Sean using the printer without supervision. Sean explained his connection to Officer Bill and left, curiosity flickering in his mind. Teresa examined the print he had left behind and noticed a strange term tricell. Though puzzled, she brushed it off and returned to her car, only to find one of the tires flat. Sean saw her struggling and came over to help. While fixing the tire, they talked about Teresa's ongoing case. He recognized her from the news coverage of Larry's trial and wondered aloud if the one responsible might escape judgment. Teresa admitted she had no control if Larry managed to make a deal. Once the tire was fixed, Teresa kindly offered Sean a ride, but he politely declined and chose to walk away to continue his training. The next morning, Sean trained hard, striking the punching bag with fierce determination. Terry joined him, offering advice on how to hit harder. Despite his efforts to be a better father, memories of his abuse toward Mary and Sean still haunted the boy. A painful flashback returned the day Terry lost his temper over Sean's piano lesson. When Mary tried to protect her son, Terry's rage erupted. He struck her and shouted for her to be silent. Though many years had passed, Sean couldn't escape the haunting memories. While reviewing the report on Tony's murder, a known drug dealer, he found no solid evidence. Gary suggested they shouldn't focus too much on the case since Tony's criminal ties made him a likely target. But Teresa disagreed, sensing there was more to the story. From Gary, she learned about Sean's tragic past. His mother had been murdered right before his eyes 10 years earlier. Despite his trauma, Sean visited the police station every day, carefully studying mugshots, hoping one day to find his mother's killer. Teresa approached Sean and offered to help him uncover the truth. Though hesitant at first, Sean eventually agreed to let her assist him. Meanwhile, a prostitute named Lizzie tried to tell her client Joe that she couldn't work that night because she was sick. Joe reacted violently and forced her out of the room. Seeing the altercation, Sean stepped in to protect Lizzie. A fight broke out between him and Joe, leaving both of them injured. However, Sean's intervention was not accidental. It was revealed that he had chosen Joe from the criminal photo database, intending to stop him from abusing others. When Joe threatened him, Sean quickly drew a pistol from his pocket and shot him in the chest, killing him instantly. The next day, Teresa and Gary investigated Joe's death. They met a prostitute who had witnessed the incident and claimed that Joe had been involved in the murder of a 13-year-old girl, but had escaped justice. The woman only remembered seeing Sean dressed in black and believed he had been sent by God to save her. While discussing the case, Teresa realized that the person who killed Joe might also be the one who murdered Tony. To confirm her theory, she and Gary went to the morgue to compare the bullet found in Joe's body with the one from Tony's case. During the visit, Teresa suddenly realized that Joe might be the man Sean had been searching for. Before leaving, she asked the coroner, Drive, about the word trisol, the term she had seen written on Sean's paper. The doctor and his assistant confirmed that tricin is a toxin capable of causing swelling in the esophagus, leading to suffocation. The autopsy results also showed that the bullets from both victims matched perfectly, proving the same person was responsible for both murders. Wanting to learn more about Sean, Teresa invited him to lunch. During their conversation, they went to a Chinese restaurant, where Sean impressed her by speaking fluent Mandarin and warning a couple who had been insulting him. Sean revealed that his mother had encouraged him to learn multiple languages. Teresa explained that his mother's case had been classified as a random carjacking with no leads, and she advised him to move on and live a normal life. Frustrated, Sean asked what she would do if he knew who the killer was. Teresa emphasized the importance of legal procedures and the need for evidence before accusing anyone. Growing increasingly angry, Sean pointed out the flaws in the system and the injustice of criminals like Larry Child escaping punishment. While Teresa and Gary attended Bill Baldwin's retirement party, Teresa kept connecting the dots between the Tony and Joe cases. She noticed striking similarities in how both men committed their crimes and managed to escape punishment. Hoping to learn more, she approached Bill to ask about Sean, but he responded harshly, accusing her of following them. Bill insisted that they should leave Sean alone and let him live his life. On the train ride home, a Chinese woman sought help from officers as two men began fighting. Just minutes earlier, a drug addict on the train had harassed a woman. Sean was also there, quietly smearing black paint on his face for disguise and signaling a Chinese boy to escort his mother to safety. Moments later, he confronted the addict and engaged in a violent fight, ignoring the risks. Teresa tried to catch Sean, but he managed to escape. Later, one of the officers informed her that the attacker had spoken Mandarin to the boy, telling him and his mother to leave before the fight began. The next morning, Sean woke up from a dream in which Teresa was arresting him, but the vision quickly faded. Coincidentally, it was his birthday. Sattery decided to surprise him by taking him to his mother's favorite restaurant to celebrate with a birthday cake. At the restaurant, they ran into Aaron, an old friend of Terry's, who immediately recognized him by his old boxing nickname, Rock. Now the owner of the restaurant, Aaron, mentioned he still had some old photos of Terry and his friends in the back. While Terry caught up with Aaron, Sean quietly learned more about his father's past, a heavy drinker who often got into street fights. Aaron explained that Terry earned the nickname Rock because of his toughness and ability to take a hit back in those days. After their brief reunion, Terry apologized for disappearing so suddenly and exchanged contact information with Aaron for a future meeting. Leaving the restaurant, Terry treated Sean to a boxing match, hoping to spend meaningful time with his son after so many years apart. As a final surprise, he took Sean to the street where his mother had tragically died, gently reminding him to let go of the past and move forward with his life. Terry apologized to Sean for the pain his addiction and violence had caused. He admitted he couldn't change the past, but promised to be there for his son and take care of him from now on. The next day, Teresa visited Bill's house to ask for answers about Sean. Though hesitant at first, Bill invited her in and revealed the truth about that fateful night. He explained that, after the tragedy, Sean had suffered severe emotional trauma, leaving him unable to express his feelings properly. When shown a lineup of criminal photos, Sean immediately recognized someone. However, when the pictures were presented to his father, Terry dismissed Sean's claim and denied knowing anything. Terry lectured him about the consequences of his actions, pressuring Sean to admit he was wrong and that his father had been right. Since then, Sean had remained silent about that night until recently, when he saw the same man's face in the newspaper. He was still convinced that the boy named Larry was his mother's killer, the very person Teresa was determined to bring to justice. Later that day, Sean visited Teresa to thank her for her support, saying he was ready to move on with his life. He then left with a friend to attend a party. Although Teresa planned to close the case, she followed Sean to the party and waited outside. From Gary, she learned that Larry Child had made a deal with the district attorney's office, allowing him to escape proper punishment for his crimes. At the party, Sean recalled the moment Larry Child mentioned his father, Rock, on the night of the incident. He suddenly realized that only Terry's friends used that name, which sparked suspicion in his mind. Moments later, another act of violence caught his attention when he saw a bully harassing a female friend. Unable to control his anger, Sean brutally attacked the bully until his friend pulled him away. Afterward, he rushed to Aaron's restaurant, while Teresa decided to follow him, determined to uncover the truth. As Sean kept walking, he couldn't escape the haunting memory of Larry's voice from the night his mother was murdered. He vividly remembered the moment Terry stopped the car in the dark after being hit from behind. That night, Larry confronted Terry, said something, then turned to Mary and shot her dead. The fragments of that memory began to piece together in Sean's mind, pushing him to dig deeper as his suspicions grew stronger. Sean broke into Aaron's restaurant hoping to find some clues. By the time Teresa arrived, he was already gone. She discovered old photos of Terry and Larry as children, deepening her suspicions about their connection. Meanwhile, Terry returned home to find his house in chaos. Alarmed, he called the police, unaware that everything unfolding was somehow tied to him. As Sean and Teresa's investigation deepened, Terry went down to the basement and found Sean there. Drunk and overwhelmed, Sean was haunted by painful memories of his father's drinking and the harm he caused to him and his mother. Overcome with emotion, Sean grabbed a nearby gun and accused his father of working with Larry Child to murder his mother. Sean believed Terry killed his mother to claim her life insurance, hoping to escape poverty and pay off their debts. The accusation stunned Terry. He tried to deny it, insisting he would never hurt his family. But consumed by years of pain and anger, Sean was convinced his father was guilty. In a tense moment, Terry managed to overpower him. Terry admitted he knew Larry, but said Sean had misunderstood what happened that night. Sean insisted the killer was named Terry Rock, while Terry denied it and tried to calm him down. Overwhelmed by emotion, Sean pointed the gun at his father's chest and ended his life tragically. When Teresa arrived at the scene, Sean accused Terry of hiring Larry Childs to kill his mother. The gun remained on the table as Sean turned to Teresa, begging for her help. He realized that not all justice comes from the law. Teresa decided to get rid of the gun used in the murder. Later, Sean wrote a letter to Larry Childs, who was serving time in prison. Instead of holding on to his anger, he chose to forgive, hoping it would ease his guilt and silence the haunting screams from his past. Sean only wanted to know the truth about his father's role in the murder. He placed 2 stamps in an envelope for Larry's reply, a black stamp if his father was guilty and a red one if he was innocent. But Larry was deceitful and sent back the letter with a red stamp. Sean had anticipated this. He had coated the stamp glue with trisol, a deadly poison that caused Larry to die painfully from throat swelling and suffocation. In the end, we are left wondering whether Sean's father was truly innocent or if Larry was simply playing with him,